Okay, so one thing that you are going to be asked to do, and this seems to be a problem for a lot of students, is you're going to be asked to evaluate this function. They're going to ask you to find the value of f of 2. Well, this throws a lot of people off um, because they're not sure what to do because there's so many pieces. And it doesn't matter whether it's a step function or whether it's a piecewise function. You looked at this last time, that when we did piecewise functions, you evaluated the function. It's the same here. The problem is that because these are constants, the student, you don't know what to do with the 2 because there's nowhere to plug it in. There's not an x value over here. You don't plug it in here. This is just telling you, if this value right here, is it a number that's smaller than 3? Is it between -3 and 2? Or is it a number bigger than 2? This is, this is telling you what your restrictions are, your constraints, or your domain, if you want to think about it like that. But what do you do? What do you do with this 2? Well, you don't do anything with it. Because these are constants, this is, just think about it like this. If I go over here to the x-axis to 2, where do I have to go to get to my graph? Well, on the when I go over here to 2, some of you want to say, oh, I'm going to go right there. No, remember, that's an open circle. So to get to my graph, I have to go up here. So the y value, when my x value is 2, the y value is 3. So you can do it graphically. Let's do another one. What's the value of f of 4? The value of f of 4. Go to where 4 is, go to where x is 4. Here's the x value of 4. Where do you have to go to get to your graph? You have to go up there to 3. What about when f is 0? When your x value is 0, f of 0. You go to where x is 0, it's right there. Where do you go to get on your graph? That's a 1. So that's how you use your graph. What about f of -5? What's the value of your function? What's the y value when your x value is -5? So go to where -5 is, and then what's your y value? Your y value right there is -2. So that's one way that you can do it. Another way that you can do it is say, okay, let's take this -5 right here. In which one of these pieces of my domain does the -5 fit? Is -5 a number that's smaller than -3? Yes, it is. Then the answer is -2. See, I got that right there. What about 0? Where does 0 fit? Is 0 a number smaller than -3? Nope. Is 0 a number between -3 and 2? Yes, it is. 0 is that number that's between -3 and 2, so the answer was 1. So it told me right there that 1. Where is 4? Is 4 a number that's smaller than -3? Nope. Is 4 a number between -3 and 2? Nope. Is 4 a number bigger than 2? Yes. So it goes, so this number right here is going to be the answer. And that's what we got right there. So there's 2 different ways to do that. You can find what piece of the domain we're in and let this be your answer, or you can use your graph. Now, Desmos will do it if you know a trick. So because Desmos won't let me put all 3 of these pieces on one line, or I guess if it will, I don't know that it will. I only know how to do it like this. So when I go over here and I ask it to evaluate f of 2, okay, all it does is give me that exclamation because it says I've got f defined in more than one place. So it doesn't know whether I'm talking about this f of x, this f of x, or this f of x. It's not understanding. So there is a quick fix I can do. I can rename these, call it f of x, g of x, and h of x. And these letters don't matter. You can put any letter that you want to out there. Now I've asked it f of 2, and when it says right there that it's undefined, it's saying 2, this 2 that I'm right here, 2 is not a number that's smaller than 3. So you can't plug it into this one because this 2 right here is not in that domain, that restriction. So it's saying you can't do it. So change that to g of 2. Okay, it's still telling you that it's undefined. So that means you can't plug in 2 right here. So that means that 1's not going to be the answer. You change that to h of x, and now all of a sudden it's telling you that the answer's 3. And see, right here, h of x, we said, is equal to 3 as long as it's 2 or any number bigger than 2. So we found that answer. So now we can go down here and we can try it again. We want to do, we can try, you have to just go through f of 4. F of 4 is undefined, so now try g of 4, that's undefined. Now try h of 4. And we see right there that it's at h of 4 for this, it's using this piece down here, the answer's 3. Okay, now let's try f of 0. Whoops, f of 0. F of 0 is undefined. Let's try g of 0. There it is. It fits into this piece of the piecewise function, that middle piece. So if I'm plugging in 0 right there, I get 1 as an answer. And now I can find, try f of negative 5. And it tells me that negative 5 does go in this piece up here. It's the piece that's smaller. It says I can take x values that are smaller than negative 3. Negative 5 is definitely smaller than negative 3. So it's saying negative 2 is the answer. So we got the same answers as we got when we were looking at the graph, as we do if you kind of cheat a little bit over here on Desmos. You have to name them 3 different functions to see which piece of the one function it goes into. So that may help at some point or another.